Hey everybody, Davey here from Davey's World Fishing. Today we're going to talk about adjusting and making adjustments to your lever drag reels. So lever drags are really gaining popularity and have been popular for years in the saltwater market. You're starting to see a little bit more in some of the deep water trolling applications in the freshwater, like in the Great Lakes, people that are spooling up copper line. But you know, it's a very popular, very effective technique, but lever drags are actually quite complex reels. There's a lot that's packed into them. This here happens to be the Okuma Makaira 30. It's a 2-speed lever drag reel. They call it a lever drag because there's a lever right here on the side. Move it down to free spool, move it up for more drag. You've also got the drag cam on the side. Today we're going to talk a little bit about adjusting the drag cam. So when you make adjustments to your drag cam, that's how you're going to get more drag. You push it up to strike, you push the little button, you can go all the way into full, but in order to get more drag, you're going to make adjustments to that drag cam, or less drag for that matter as well. Anytime you want to make any kind of adjustments to your drag cam, what you're going to do is you got to put your reel all the way down into free spool. Then you can make that adjustment. The Makaira's got very fine clicks, so you can really get your reel dialed in. But you want to be all the way in free spool. Then you can make your adjustments either up or down. Then you can go back into strike and then into full, etc. But you always want to have it all the way down into free spool when you're making those adjustments. What happens is if you're in here and you start grinding that and making that happen, you can actually damage the pinion gear and some of the internal components of that lever drag. You don't want to do that. You're on a fish of a lifetime. You know, a lot of times you're feeling like I'm not quite getting enough drag, so you're in full or you're in strike, and then people want to make that adjustment while they're fighting a fish. You definitely don't want to do that. You can cause quite a bit of damage within these reels. These reels are expensive, but you don't want to make those adjustments while you're like that. You want to do that ahead of time. Now, a lot of folks, especially on the long range trips, they'll actually hook up a scale, like a hand scale, or hook it to a rail. They'll make their adjustments. They'll dial it into strike. They'll pull that hand scale and see how much drag pressure they have. These guys, you're looking at 66 to 100 pounds of drag on these bigger reels. So a lot of drag. It's you know, they're made for big game fishing. Now, like I said, you know, you're hooking it up to that scale. You can make your adjustments. I don't have quite what I want. I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna give it another click or two, go back in. I can pull it on that scale again. And now I wanna get it to exactly where I'm at. I don't wanna do that while I'm fishing, especially if you know, if you're on a big fish, you're on that fish of a lifetime, you're fishing that flat fall style jig, you're fishing the new Fish Lag Carnatas, you drop it down, you're hooked in. Now you realize I don't have enough drag. You don't want to make that adjustment at that point. If you do something and you lock up that pinion gear, that line's going to snap. You can actually lose your rod and reel and pull it right over. You know, everything could lock up on the inside. You don't want to do that. And that's not just for Okuma, that's for all brands of reels. You're talking your Internationals, your Tiagras, the new Daiwa reels, anything that's out there. You just don't want to make that adjustment at that time. Do it between fish. Come back in, make your settings, come back up here. A lot of people just do the old pull of the line. I can't even pull that right now, holy moly. You know, you make that hand pull, you want to get it to where you're at. Finely tuned machine, so I can feel that right there is, you know, 16 pounds of drag, etc. Kidding, of course. But that's when you want to do it. Free spool, can't emphasize that enough. Free spool, make your adjustment, and then go back into your strike. The Makairas are very detailed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, strike, full, you know, it's very dialed. These are precise machines. Usually if you have one of these, you really know what you're doing, but you want to make sure you're doing it correctly. I hope this tip helps when you're out on your next big fish trip, and hopefully you're hooked into a big fish. Make sure you don't make that adjustment at that point, but you can get you dialed in. Hopefully that helps. Appreciate y'all checking in. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below and subscribe to Davey's World Fishing up in that right hand corner. See you on the water.